How's everybody doing? How's it going, YouTube? Thank you for being here. It's me. Hello, hello. Putting on these things. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's thankful, content. Hope everybody's doing good. Thank you for being here. Once again, this is Reach. My name is Frank Reacher. Thank you very much for being here. Uh, truly thankful for your time. Your time is very valuable to me. I always like to let you guys know that because, you know, I know you guys could be doing something else, watching other videos, but you guys decided to stop here. And I hope to be a blessing to you. I hope that you're encouraged. I hope that I can speak into your life and share my thoughts, share some of the things that I have in my life. I I always like to start these videos with letting you guys know who sponsors these. And I call her my sponsor simply because she just backs me up in everything that I do. She encourages me. She reminds me, hey, have you made your video today? And that's my wife, my beautiful, amazing wife. Just want to remind you guys that the link to her store is in the description. You can find the link. Again, she has a health and beauty store. Check her out. Over 700 items. She ships for free. Prices are great. High quality items. Check it out. And also my courses. There's a link to the courses. I forgot to put a link to my. I have a counseling page where you guys can find my information. If you guys need counseling, if you guys need guidance, I've been through a lot. I believe that God's giving me wisdom to help people. I've helped people in the past. And anyways, I'm going to put that link up also, but there's a link to my courses. Check them out, please. There's a lot of good information there, a lot of good knowledge, a lot of good wisdom. It's basically about life topics, the challenges, everything. I mean, I'm still making others, but you'll find something for you there, so check it out. The link's there. All right, so check this out. I wanted to share with you something about life. For a long time in my life, for a long time, everything that surrounded me was death. Growing up in the streets, growing up in gangs, growing up with drugs, seeing overdoses, shootouts, being in prison for a very long time. I don't know the years, but for so many years, just negativity, darkness, death, bad things, bad vibes, bad attitudes. For many years, all that stuff was surrounding my life. And it's crazy because everything that came in my life was dark. Everything that went out of my life was dark. I was a negative person. Um, I really couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Uh, so basically, it was all bad. It was really bad. It was like being in a dark place and not knowing where the exit is. And finally finally coming to the realization of just saying, man, this is the way I'm gonna die. This is the way things are. And, I wonder who can help me. I really wasn't looking for help, but the point is that for many, many years, life wasn't flowing through me. Life was not flowing through me. I wasn't positive. I wasn't a giving person. I wasn't a sharing person. I wasn't, what life is truly about. Everything was the opposite of life. Everything was a dead end. Everything was me just taking, me just hoarding, me just using, people, things. Material things didn't make a difference. Money didn't make a difference because it was all bad money. Couldn't trust anybody. Couldn't trust no one. I didn't trust myself. I did so many things that are just straight out scandalous. That was my world. My world was basically upside down. And now, I can only thank God. Honestly, I can't even take the credit for it, because just the description that I'm giving you, how does a person change that? How does a person come out of that? You know, you can try, but there's always going to be something negative in your life. When you do it on your own and you try, I mean, you really have to be with people that support you, people that encourage you, people that are not the same as you, because you're always going to get stuck with something. You might move out, you might change, you might go to a further place in your life, but you're always going to have something bad, something negative. Like, life is not going to flow through you. You think you're doing better, but you still have a bad habit, you still have a bad attitude, you still have bad thoughts. Life is not flowing through you. So I thank God, because to me, God is the creator of life. God is the giver of life. He's the one that sustains life. Everything that we see around us, it's his order, it's his creation. From the seasons to the way things are, the way things work, you know, he has brought life into my life. And now, as I pay attention to my life, I'm able to see that life flows through me. And when life flows through a person, you know that you're just part of it. Life surrounds you. Going back again to my past, life didn't surround me. It was death. It was darkness. There was nothing growing. There was nothing being renewed. There was nothing being rebuilt. It was all tearing down. It was all destruction. It was all bad. But now, thankfully, my life has been renewed. My life has been rebuilt. It has been restored. I love those words, that word renew. It's to make new again. Rebuild, to rebuild, to do it again, to build it again, to restore it, to restore what was not, what was in chaos, that didn't have any order. And that's what basically my world was. My world was chaos. And now, thankfully, there's order. I can feel life flow through me. And that's something that I wanted to share today. And I really want to encourage you to do. I wrote down some notes, and I broke it down because I've noticed there's certain things in my life that I do, certain things this is how I notice that life is flowing through me. And I'm going to share those things with you. But I really encourage you to, pay attention, write it down, take some notes, watch the video again. And I really haven't heard anyone talk about this. So, you're in luck. No, it's not luck. It's just, okay. So the title of the video, I put, do this before it's too late. What do I mean by that? Do this before it's too late. A lot of people don't get this opportunity to have their life renewed. And like I said, people try, but there's always something negative still hanging around. Something that you really can't pinpoint, something that you really can't change. Again, it might be an attitude, it might be a habit, it might be those dark thoughts or those things that you do when no one's around. And when I say do this before it's too late, it's because a lot of the times people don't have this opportunity. People just simply pass away in that condition. Or people don't make the effort anymore and they just come to terms and they say, this is just the way life is for me. But I know that deep down inside, nobody wants to be stuck there. Because it's not life. It's not life. It's the opposite of life. So I really encourage you that these 3 things that I share with you, pay attention, look into them, try them. And this is not the answer, okay? I don't want you to think that this is the answer to life or this is the answer to certain, no. It's what's going on in my life as I pay attention to what's going on. And I believe in, it's my job. It's what I owe you to share this with you. If it helps you, man, it's awesome. If it doesn't, reject it. You know what to do with it. All right, so some of my notes that I wrote is the circle of life. Okay, life is supposed to flow through you. Okay, and keep in mind, I'm gonna make that distinction of good and bad, black and white, dark and bright, because that's what it is. It's either one or the other. Either your life is going good or your life is going bad. Not taking away the fact that, yeah, there's things that happen, challenges, trials, struggles, and that happens to everybody, even to good people. I'm looking at I have a Rottweiler. He's a big old puppy, and he's looking at me like, what is this guy? Who's this guy talking to? I'll introduce you to you guys. I'll introduce my Rottweiler to you guys in a couple of more videos. He's tripping out on me. Okay, so the circle of life is supposed to flow through us. We ought to seek positivity. We need to be positive. There has to be change. There has to be uplifting. There has to be good things in our life for us to be part of life. If we're not part of life, the things that surround us it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be death. It's going to be negativity. It's going to be stagnant. You know what happens to stagnant? You know what happens to non-moving water? You know what happens when there's a puddle of water just sitting there? Mosquitoes. Standstill water goes bad, but flowing water is good. When water flows through a river, the rocks, it cleanses it, it cleans it. So that's why you're able to drink, clean water, because of the rocks that's cleaning it. It's filtering the water. So the opposite of life is going to be those things. And when I say death, negativity, all that stuff, people in your life are going to be the same way. You're going to have people bringing you down. You're going to have people hating on you. You're going to have people, if you're not part of life, if life is not flowing through you, then you're stagnant. Then you're not you're not living positively. And those are the kind of things that you're going to attract. You're going to attract death. You're going to attract, and I'm not necessarily talking about people dying. I'm talking about death, relationships, death in ideas, death in change, death in everything. That's what you're going to have in your life. It's going to be a death to so many things in your life. And again, it's not just physical death towards people, but in my case, that's what it was. Unfortunately, a lot of my homeboys, a lot of that's what surrounded my life. It was just death. Um, so my question is, what surrounds you? If you take a look at your life, what surrounds you? Is it life or death? And you can tell the difference between them. Is it positivity? Is it enlightening? Is it joy? Is it peace? Is it uplifting? Is it change? Is it renewing? Things are renewing. Are things getting better? Or is it the opposite? And the reason why I say that life has to flow through you, because we're not meant to just take. We're not meant to just use. We're not meant to just hold. We're not meant to just keep. We're meant to give. We're meant to share. We're meant to let go. We're meant to build. And that is life. The opposite of life, the opposite of life is taking. It's using, taking what doesn't belong to you, using people, using different things, and hoarding and holding it and not sharing and being greedy. And that's all death. You might think that you're living, but you're not happy. You don't have joy. When life is not flowing through you, you don't have joy. You have remorse, you have anger, you have resentment, you have this negative vibe about you. So we are meant to give, to share, to let go, to build. So life is a cycle. Life is a cycle. Life is a continuous exchange. Okay? Life is a continuous exchange of giving, creating, and renewing. You give to me, I give to you. I create something, you create something. From the smallest thing, breakfast, money, handshake, a hug, a kiss, and I love you. That's life. That's life. It's an exchange, a continuous exchange of giving, creating. That's what life is. The opposite of that is, what the opposite is that? The opposite of that is taking, it's hoarding, it's destroying. When life flows through us, it's something greater. It's more meaningful. It's deeply fulfilling when life flows through you, because you feel it, you see it, and the things around you are a blessing and you're thankful for them because you see life happening around you. So giving, sharing, letting go, all these things help us to be part of life. And so we have to make sure that nothing is blocking the flow of life in your life. If something's blocked, if something bad, something negative, if something's if you don't deal with certain things in your life, you're blocking the flow of life. Okay, you're blocking it, and life can't flow through you until that thing is being dealt with, until that thing is taken care of. Go. He's over there in the kitchen looking for something. Sorry about that, guys. Apologize. So again, we have to pay attention to our lives so that nothing is blocking the flow of life. Okay? So I'm going to get into the things that I've noticed in my life that make a difference, that the things that I do that connect me to that flow of life, and how I see that life flows through me. Okay. Number one is planting. Planting a tree, planting flowers, planting herbs. And I'll tell you the reason why to me this planting something helps life flow through you. Okay. It grounds you. When you're planting something, it connects you to the soil, it connects you to the dirt. And to me, that's one of the things where you can see life, the cycle of life. You plant the seed in the dirt, you water it, it takes sunlight, and things start to grow. Out of a seed, out of a little seed, it's blind. To me, it's mind blowing. And I love doing that because through planting something, I've learned so many things. I've learned that it teaches me about growth, it teaches me about patience, you know, and to me, it's awesome because when I plant that seed and I'm always looking at it, it's awesome to see that little green little piece of life coming out through the ground. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, yes, it's growing. That's the cycle of life. I'm watching life unfold before my eyes. It's the miracle of life. So planting to me helps me to get grounded. It helps me to understand the cycle of life. It helps me to see how fragile, how beautiful, how important, how beautiful life is. So I encourage you to plant something. You're going to see that when you plant something, you're going to learn that growing takes time. You know, we don't, and that's another good thing that when you plant something, you don't get instant results like we're used to nowadays. You don't get instant results. You have to be patient. You have to understand that it's going to take light, it's going to take soil, it's going to take water, it's going to take your care, your attention for that what you planted for it to grow. And that's the same thing in life. Remember, back in the day in my life, there was nothing growing. I wasn't paying attention to any. I was destroying. So now planting, it helps me to nurture, it helps me to protect. It shows me how fragile and beautiful life is. So that's something that I've noticed. I have plants next to my bed. I have a garden. And that's just not mine, but it's me and my wife's. And now I like to have living things around me. I love having things growing. I love having things that are alive around me because now that's what I that's what attracts me. That's what I want I want life in my life. you know and it might sound funny, it may sound weird, but I want life in my life. But in order for me to have life, I have to be part of life. Life has to be flowing through me. I have to be a giver. I have to be one that shares. I have to be one that gives and not just do the opposite. Another thing that helps me and keeps life flowing through me is building something. So real quick, so when it comes to planting, try it out. Trust me, you're gonna see a difference. You're gonna learn. You're gonna just it'll make a big difference in your life. You'll see. Okay, so now building something or repairing. No, actually, no, that's building. When you build something, you start being creative. And if you notice in life, life is very creative. You see the colors in butterflies, you see, nature, you see how life is very creative. And when you build something, you take wood. You take pieces of wood that's nothing, and now you build it and it's something meaningful. You can build a chair, you can build a pot for a plant, you can build a cutting board, you can build so many things with just raw material. You get those things, you cut them, you measure them, and you've built something. Okay. And what did you use? You used that creativity to transform some simple materials into something meaningful, you know? And then from that, you learn how to create solutions, and that's what's helped me. And I feel it. I feel when I need to go and build something. It takes my mind off. It takes my mind off of the things that I have to deal with. It helps me to relax. It helps me to unwind. I take a real joy in building things. And that also helps me to be a builder of relationships, to be a builder of, my faith, be a builder in my family, my kids. They're still growing. So I learned how to create solutions. I see how it's so awesome when, it's cool to when I make something for my wife. I can't wait for her. I can't wait to see her look in her face when I make her something, and she tells me too. She's like, "Man, you're so creative." And that's life. It's life. It's life flowing through you. And that's another way for you to be part of life, to allow life to flow through you. You know, you have a purpose now. Like you can go to Home Depot, buy some stuff. Why are you going? Because now you have a purpose. Now in your head, you like, I want to build this. And it's cool because you take that into other parts of your life. You know, you're making a list on certain things, and now you want to build certain things. And it's not just with your hands, but now it's, you want to build again, like relationships. You want to build on your love. You want to build on certain, other things that matter to you. And not only that, but you just don't want to build something, you accomplish it. Most of the things that you start to build, you want to finish them. And that's another thing that you learn from it. Remember, in the cycle of life, that's what it is. You see that, when that little seed is growing from the dirt, it comes to a completion when it's fully grown, when it's already producing fruit, when you're already harvesting what it's growing. So that's part of life. And building helps me also to understand that creating is better than just taking. You take, you use, and if you don't give nothing in return, life is not flowing through you. Unfortunately, um, excuse me, I've noticed that people that don't have joy, people that don't, they can't get along with others, or they just have a lot of bad stuff going on. It's because life is not flowing through them. And it's something, we're all alive and we all need to be part of that. We need to all make sure that life is flowing through us. The third thing that I do, and I've noticed that life flows through me, is when I repair things. Sometimes I'm not, I admit, my wife makes me a list of things I need to fix, and I'm like, man. But once I start fixing things, I get in this mood, and then I'm like looking around with my drill, what else needs to be fixed. When you fix something, when you repair something, that is an act of renewal. Okay, it's an act of renewal. Life is flowing through you. Now, when you see something damaged or you see something broken, it's not worthless. It's still worth something because you're investing to fixing it, and now you're taking that into your life, And now when your relationships are messed up, they're not worthless. You just don't go and change your wife for another one. You know, you got to repair it. You got to rebuild it. You got to renew it. And that's what repairing to me, it helps me. It helps me to repair things around the house because I take that into other places in my life and say, man, the way I repaired that door, the way I repaired that window, I can repair other things in my life. And that's the flow of life through me. And it's cool because it also helps me to learn how to problem solve. You know, it's cool because sometimes when I'm fixing things with my sons, it's crazy because I'll come up with an idea or I'll fix something in an unordinary way, and they're like, "Man, Dad, how'd you do that?" You know, like, I didn't know you can do that. I didn't either. So it helps me to learn how to problem solve and not just look at something and say, "Oh, it's broken and it's worthless. I'm just gonna throw it away and get a new one." And no, you know, repairing is a act of renewing, and life is worth preserving. It's worth you preserving things in your life. You know, why do you think antiques are worth so much money? Because they're around still. Somebody preserved them, you know. And then you start learning a respect for the effort that you're putting into it. You know, you start getting this respect of learning how to care for things. That's one important thing that I'm teaching my boys, how to fix things. It's not just throw them away. It's, hold on, you can fix that. You know, you can make it shiny again. You can sand it. You can put another fresh coat of paint. And it helps you learn how to take care of things. Again, you know, with people. I don't know if you guys can hear my Roddy. He's crying. He wants to get out. Okay, hold on. So, again, things that are broken are not worthless. And that is how life flows through us, where we understand that things can be renewed, things can be restored, things can be rebuilt. So think about this. It's about plant, you know, take the time. Start planting something, start building something, start repairing things in your life. This is how I know that life is flowing through me. And I take the time to do these things because it helps me to learn how to take those things into other parts of my life, like planting. You know, how I understand now that growth takes time. I can't rush into things and I can't have instant results right away. So planting helps me to be patient. It helps me to understand the cycle of life. Okay. And when we're part of the cycle of life, we want to give life. We just now don't want to destroy it. We don't want to take it. We don't want to hate on anybody. We want to see life happen in other people. We want to see life happen in other people. So think about this, guys. Planting, building, repairing. Okay. Let's look into that to make sure that life is flowing through us. Do this before it's too late, before something happens to you, before it's just too late. Okay. Thank you for your time. Again, your time is valuable. I appreciate your time. Remember, reach in, reach out, and reach up. Thank you. Hope everybody's doing well. See you on the next video. I gotta take my Roddy out.